Power creep. You may have heard this word around, maybe talking in the community, or maybe going in the various subreddit, like even the main ones like Honkai Star Rail, r/Honkai Star Rail, or any of the subreddits dedicated to the various characters, like r/Zili mains, r/Jingyuan mains, r/ don't know, Leopard mains and whatever. A lot of people seem concerned about this power creep thing. A quick summary about this phenomenon: a power creep is essentially something comes out that does the same thing as another thing pre-existing, but somehow better. In some way, depends by the product. So, making an example with my characters, some say Kafka is a power creep to Jingyuan. Some say Jingliu is a power creep to Yanqing. You get the idea, no? Yanqing is a nice DPS, but is limited, and since Jingliu came out, everyone is playing Jingliu because they also share the same mechanic about getting crit rate when they use the ultimate. So I understand that it's pretty clear they wanted to make a better Yanqing. Makes sense lore-wise. So yeah. The only character I saw that people consider immune to power creep is Blade, because pretty much enemies will always attack you and he will gain stack. You don't even... Some people even don't play speed on him anymore, they just put him in a team and he just follows up, he just... yeah, exactly, with that good Blade, you pulled out your big, long, hard sword. What did I say? What did I say wrong? Whatever. So, you get the point. Power creep may make some of your characters quote-unquote useless. Because you may end up using the newer version. You want a nice DPS? Why would you use Yanqing while Jingliu is right there? The problem is there's various factors to why arguing about power creep in these games is a bit bullshit. Yes, I say the word... I noticed I say the word bullshit a lot, but I just like how it sounds. So, let's go over the various characters, just to make it easy to talk, etc. So, as you can see, I have both Yanqing and Jingliu. Right? Point being, Yanqing just happened too many times.
Hell no, man. What the fuck?
Not as many as Mina or Yama. Jesus Christ, girl, you need a blessing. But I wanted Jingliu. So obviously I ended up using Jingliu. This boy doesn't even have all relics. He is pretty much a relic holder for Jingliu, you know, failed relics or nice relics, but not using them right now. Like this one is pretty nice. It's not bad for speed, 18 crit damage, 7 attack. It's crit rate main stat. But other than that, the first point to why discussing power creep is bullshit is, first of all, not everyone wants Jingliu. Like, why? But some people may not like Jingliu, so they skip there because they have Yanqing, or they were planning for Misha, which is impossible since there's like 3 patches away. But you get the idea. So in that case, Misha is not more powerful than Jingliu, but some people may be using more Misha than Yanqing, and they just bench the Yanqing on the other hand. So what is happening there? What most people are probably end up doing is, logically, to just go for the character they like the most. Some people maybe like Yanqing more. They don't like Jingliu. They like Yanqing more than Jingliu. They like Yanqing's playstyle more than Jingliu. Someone may even prefer Misha's gameplay more than Jingliu's, and they benched Jingliu to play Misha. Or someone else completely doesn't give a shit. They play Herta, which is powerful in pure fiction right now as well, so they won. Herta scares me though. Oh, Serval. Some say Serval is better than Jingyuan. Agree, disagree. I think they're two different characters. Like, Serval is the real Crit Kafka, while Jingyuan is just Jingyuan. You may play Serval and Kafka, you cannot play Jingyuan and Kafka. So, it's a very weird thing to talk about, especially because... So, if we gotta talk about power creep, I think there's no real discussion here, because at the end of the day, the only ones that care so much about power creep are extreme meta players. But as I always said, talking about the meta in these games so much to the point that people bench quote-unquote older versions of a certain character is wrong, because at the end of the day, let's say Kafka is a power creep to Jingyuan. My Jingyuan is fully built with other options. I don't have only these pieces for the Duke and the Salsotto. I have more, so I can make him more crit rate, more crit damage, whatever. But it's also a completely different set, so Kafka doesn't even steal from him. Sometimes I use them both in the two sides of the Memory of Chaos. So that's not... No, this is not something that exists. A previously built character is always gonna be usable, will deal damage anytime, will support, will do anything, because I'm talking mostly about DPS, because the usual discussion is about DPS characters. So you may see people talk about Shui. Is she weaker, stronger than Zilla? Is Zilla stronger, weaker? At the end of the day, everyone plays Chinchua for Quantum DPS, so nobody gives a shit. I should build my Chinchua, but whatever. So yeah, nothing of that makes sense, because as I said, characters will deal damage. It's not like that as soon as a character that fills a similar role in the team, the previous version is gonna get his multipliers diminished. It's the same multipliers. you may need more specific relics, more perfectioned relics. And I understand that relics are a conundrum to farm. But if you really love the character, it's something you are absolutely willing to do. There's people that are building Jingyuan since day one. They're still there. They may have changed them, like they may have gone from like here to here, but they're still building Jingyuan. So I heard weird sounds in my home. Whatever. So they're still building Jingyuan from the first day. Like they are actually perfecting speeds, crit rate and damage. They are trying to get the most perfect relics around there, like 80 crit rate, 200 plus crit damage. And that character is never gonna fall off because the build is perfected. So whenever the Memory of Chaos or Pure Fiction is gonna require that character, they may use that character, especially if they are not planning to pull for future characters that may or may not replace him in that role. I don't know how possible that is, because at the end of the day, people like to collect the characters. Even if they may put everything on only one, people are still gonna pull for characters. They're gonna build them, but at the end of the day, they're just gonna main that certain character. Like, that's the entire concept of main, after all. You can have one main, multiple mains. So, yeah. Nobody's getting power crept. The multipliers may be higher or lower, depending on the character. For example, Acheron is coming. She's probably gonna be, let's face it, a DPS, a big hyper carry DPS with 3000 billion percentage of damage, just because she's the Raiden XP of this game. No, Honkai third with Raiden Mei, Genshin Impact with Raiden Shogun, and now we have Acheron. So, since it's a recurring and popular character of Oyoverse, is gonna be extremely powerful and probably a big main DPS. And it's gonna be weird if it's not, because if it is a support, it's a must pull support for how powerful she may be. So we don't know, but let's say she's a DPS, she's Nihility, she may be like a Black Swan thingy. I don't know. Nihility seems the big mix. We have DPS, we have supports. It's a big mix. It's unironically seems like an actual black hole is catching all the type of characters someone can be. So it's on point. Some can say. So yeah, let's say she's a DPS. I doubt she's gonna be a dot DPS, because that would just be Kafka. Another mummy with a katana that applies dots and works with dots. No. Not now at least. But some Jingyuan mains, even Harlan mains, people always shit talk Harlan. They say he's the worst character of the game. But come on, a good build Tarlan can still clear everything easily. But even those kind of people will probably still pull for Acheron just because they want to get characters. They may end up building Acheron well, fully, max it out, but they're gonna come back to Jingyuan every time they want. So people are like that. They choose a favorite character, but they still gonna pull other characters. In Genshin Impact, for example, I put Sino as my favorite character, but I still pull for Raiden. I still pulled for Nouvillette. I still pull for characters, even if they are the same element and the same role, because that's the spirit of the game at the end of the day. And I know there's some people that do no wish accounts and whatever, but those are mostly second accounts. I really doubt that there's people that, how many characters do we have in Honkai Star Rail? Let's say 30. In 30 characters, they don't like any of the characters that come out until now. There may be someone like that, but it's very rare. I doubt all the people that play Honkai Star Rail have skipped everyone. Chelus is just checking on his phone, but yeah. So that's a thing. Despite the multiplayer, despite everything, power creep is useless in the sense people are still gonna choose favorites. And whatever tier lists say, whatever Pridwen says, despite the fact I don't like Pridwen because they put Daneng in Bibitor Lune down a tier because it's hard to play. How is that a reason? Whatever. But yeah. The second point I wanted to make is, if we have to talk about power creep, if we have to be nitpicky, the smallest thing, it's not about DPS. Nope. If we want to see where the real quote-unquote power creep is not here that we gotta look. It's not erudition, it's not destruction, it's not the hunt, it's not nihility, most of the times. It's harmony, some nihilities, preservation, and abundance. Because at the end of the day, any DPS can be the most powerful DPS of the game. Everyone can be Jinglu. But a Jinglu without Bronya, without Pela, without Ruanmei, without Tingyun, without Yukon, without Asta, it's nothing. And I'm not talking about Golden Gears, Swarm Disaster, whatever. Those are special modes, and as such, they kinda obey different rules. But in the realm of normal gameplay, so story quests, story bosses, Memory of Chaos, pure fiction, what matters the most is the supports around your DPS characters. That's what makes them actually shine. So if, for example, I have, let's pick Bronya. Sparkle just came out. A lot of people are saying Sparkle is the power creep of Bronya, because you can put Sparkle where Bronya was before, most notably Mono Quantum, and she's gonna be just as fine, if not better. Now, despite these discussions, to me, are still a lot of baloney. Like, the second point is just an extra. But, to be honest, the same rule as the first point stays the same. And it's power creep is not a thing you should worry about in this game. So this is just a nitpick. It's just a small thing that if we have to do this, we gotta do this right. But yeah, if it's all in the supports. Why is my crit damage on Brownia solo? Whatever. It's on the supports. Because without supports, no character can do shit. Even Abundance. Link, the reason why Lynx was so big when she came out, it's because she was technically a damage amplifier for Blade. She redirects aggro on destruction characters. She boosts Blade's HP. So more attacks go on Blade, the more follow-ups he does. So even Abundance characters. Natasha is always gonna be worse than Hua. Because Hua, with her ultimate, gives energy and an attack boost to all the allies. Black Swan can be better than Sampo. Because if she breaks, she still does win shear. Plus a more continuous defense reduction, a defense shred. Her multipliers on the dots are bigger. So some may say she's a power creep to Sampo. Though this example is not the best because Sampo is still an insane unit to use. I just pulled the Black Swan because I don't like this guy. And I'm not gonna pull Sparkle exactly because I don't like Mask Fools. Oh goodness, please no. So, yeah. If we have to talk about power creep, it's about supports. It's the supports that need to be at their best for the DPS to shine. And most of the times, you don't even need light cons for the majority of supports. What I mean by that is, you can pull an Harmony a limited Harmony 5-star, and you can give them Bronia's light con. You can pull a 5-star Nihility debuffer, not a DPS like Kafka, but a debuffer. Give them pearls. Yeah, it's just S1, I cry. But you can give them pearls. You don't need to pull for their light cons most of the time. The resources you saved from their light cons, you can use them to pull for DPS light con. You can use them to pull another character. So, in a way, supports are a different breed, and they work even if they're not maxed out in traces. So, to people that are not extremely hard on the game, they don't go like ultra miles, they want to cycle zero all the content. You need to max out just the DPS traces, and most of the supports you can just not max everything because what they do is ahead enough. Obviously, my usual suggestion is to max everything still. But the priority may change. You may want your DPS to be at the full potential, and maybe do the DPS do the supports later. The reasons are various. As you can see, I don't have resources. Like, that's a reason. Especially for low spenders or free-to-play players that won't spend money to recharge the Trailblaze power every day. So they may be slower, but that's what's so goated about supports in this game, especially 4-star 4-star supports. Even if they're not maxed out, they're still doing a massive change to your DPS. So, if we gotta talk about power creep, it supports. Anya, you can say she got power creeped a lot by Sparkle existing, because she gives one skill point if the opponent marked with her debuff is hit 2 times. Sparkle just gives skill points with her ultimate, which you can give energy regeneration rate, you can give her Penacony set, and just dish out a lot of skill points, and she gives you 2 extra skill points, so you can say Anya got power crept. But for someone like me that does not pull for Sparkle, but has Anya is an extremely powerful support for skill point heavy teams. You may even learn to play around the skill point need of characters. I'm sorry, Anya. You may even learn to play around characters like Daneng or Chinchua SP need. Like, I play this guy with Bronya, and I know what you're thinking. What the fuck are you doing? But since I played this game since day one, I learned how to play around Daneng's requirements. Something that Pridewen hasn't done, apparently. I gotta stop roasting Pridewen. So, at the end of the day, power creep in these games is not a real problem. The real problem that often the community does is fear of missing out, or FOMO, and doom posting. Doom posting is the real enemy here. Now, I probably gonna title this video about doom posting, but I may need to talk about power creep in the title as well, because the two problems are conjugated. Because what brings the feeling of power creep is doom posting. Quick example. You are a Sushang main. Where's my Sushang? You are a Sushang main. Okay? Don't mind my unbuilt Sushang. You are a Sushang main. You like Sushang. You have all her Eidolon. Her Lightcon is maxed S5. Maybe she has a S5 Lightcon. Tomorrow you go on the official Twitter of Honkai Sahel, and they're releasing another physical DPS. Argenti, another physical D-Hunt. Whatever. The first thing you're gonna read in the comments is Sushang is dead. How do you feel about that? You feel like garbage, because you feel like you spent a ginormous amount of resource. Why are you reading, Sushang? You can read. You spent a ginormous amount of resources to bring them to level 80. You spent a ginormous amount of resources searching for her crit rate and damage stuff, her lightgun, her speed, her attack. whatever, you feel like garbage. Because Argenti came out and is better than Sushang because Argenti can attack multiple enemies and his ultimate is special. The truth is, behind that Doom posting, because you're gonna maybe go even in the subreddit r/Sushang, and everyone there is gonna be like, Sushang is dead, Doom posting, Sushang is useless, pull for Argenti. The truth is, all of that Doom posting is people that either go too hard about Memory of Chaos and Pure Fiction and they revolve their entire life around that, which is not the healthy way to enjoy these games. Like, if someone like me with social anxiety that doesn't go out as much because he's scared, you know, Henia the Genius, that tells you to touch some grass in the matter of Memory of Chaos and Pure Fiction, that's bad. Because at the end of the day, your fully perfectly built Sushang is still gonna be absolutely perfect. And she will still clear any content the game puts you against. Especially because if Argenti comes out on banner, the Memory of Chaos is gonna be physical weak. You can use Sushang to break weaknesses. She's great at it. She does stuff with break. She's great. She's still great. You may be a Clara main. She's still great. All of that Doom posting that you may see on the various communities dedicated is a lot of bullshit. And to be honest, is something I'm noticing a lot about the community, well, a certain part of the community of Hoyoverse games, and probably something about even many other games. I feel like that people that play these games, they may say I main this character, but as soon as the quote-unquote power creep comes out, they just bench him, you know, the Andy from Toy Story meme, I don't wanna play with you anymore. That. I feel like nobody of those people, not the entire communities obviously, you'll never hear from me people going, just pick up a category and say all of that category. That's stupid. And I know some people say that about content creators, that's stupid. Not all creators are bad, not all creators are good. Humanity is various. But some people, I feel like, don't actually love these games, don't actually love these characters. And I'm noticing that a lot. I prepare 4 videos at once. Please subscribe for supporting my conundrum. People abandoning characters as soon as the quote-unquote better version comes out. If Acheron shows up and she's a lightning DPS and people are go to Jingyu mains and say I live for Acheron, they probably never loved the character to begin with. They just wanted a tool to clear stuff easily, faster, and they probably only care about their damage per screenshot, which is a very inaccurate form of comparison. So yeah, what I'm trying to say essentially with this video about power creep and doom posting is try to not care about, try to love the game and their characters. Like, I think people are getting the wrong approach about these games. Like, these characters have stories, have something to tell, which is more than the damage they deal to the MOC boss or whatever. And more than the characters, the games have much more to tell and much more to be. So these are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you disagree, be civil. So thanks for watching. Bye.